We have with us today Greg Turner. Greg Turner actually lives out in the Marshall community, and he is a certified pest applicator here and does inspections and does treatment work for our community. And he owns Absolute Exterminations and Inspections LLC. Greg, welcome today. And how long have you been doing extermination and
doing
inspections?
this probably almost 12 years. I've probably been studying for it about 12 or 13 years.
12 to 13 years you've been doing this. Awesome. And I know in our line of work we get to see everything. I mean, I've been involved in houses that had termites, needed termite treatments. I had houses that needed powder post beetle infestations that needed treatment. We've seen roaches. We've seen houses full of fleas. What else have you seen?
Well, just about anything you can imagine that's crawling on the ground.
Crawling on the ground. Okay.
I'm not licensed for live animals, but I've seen everything from skunks to possums.
So you do animals also?
Well, I can be, but I'm not actually. I never went forward and got a full-fledged license to remove live animals.
Okay. Awesome.
But I strictly do it bugs in this state. That's the only
Bugs
state
in southern Ohio.
Yep, strictly in Ohio. So.
Okay, excellent, awesome. Now, the purpose of this video is one of the main subjects we want to talk about is bed bugs.
Okay.
And we recently had a house that we sold that had an infestation of bed bugs. Not the first time I've had that happen, so don't panic if you're watching this. But bed bugs, what is the? It seems like bed bugs carry a stigma about them. What? Talk to me about bed bugs.
Well, they like to feed on us, animals. They like to feed on actually all animals when you either through blood or through CO2 emissions for our exhale. That's what wakes them up. But that's from what I've read and experienced. That's what makes them active.
CO2 makes them active.
They can go deep. They can go dormant. From what I've read, for 14 to 18 months. So now dormant means they're just basically sleeping. They're not hibernating. But they can dormant up. Now, as soon as something walks in the room and breathes, they could actually wake up and start looking for a place to harbor up and feed and feed. I've seen them on dogs. I've seen them on bats. I've seen them on people. So they pretty much anything that's bleeding the blood, or red blood, or breathing, you're pretty much susceptible to that.
Now, you call them, I've heard you use the word, they're hitchhikers.
Yeah.
And when you use the word bed bugs or hitchhikers, what do you mean?
Well, to my knowledge, I guess they could live outside, but they don't. They don't have any, to my knowledge, any natural defenses to live outside. So they're susceptible to all the other elements of outside. Plus, I don't think they can withstand the weather. They live indoors. They strictly live indoors. To what I understand and what I've read, they came over from Europe. They're not indigenous to the United States. Whether that's true or not, I can't quantify that at this point, but that's what I've heard.
Okay.
And by hitchhikers, I mean you can get those from anywhere. You may brush up against somebody from Walmart, you may brush up against somebody at a restaurant, and if they've got bugs or eggs on them, and they brush up against you and you get them on you and you take them home, you now have bed bugs. It take a few months for it to show itself, but eventually will have.
Okay, and so you can be, I heard recently, it made WLW recently, where someone was suing a major airlines.
Yep.
I won't use their name, but the person in the seat swore up and down they got bed bugs on the airplane, that they were down in the crevices of the seat, and they were suing. Yeah. Does bed bugs have anything to do with cleanliness? I mean,
no.
Whether you're bathing, talk to me about how you're saying that you literally could just bump into somebody.
Yep. If they have eggs on their clothes or eggs on themselves or bugs on them or on the clothes or whatever, they could rush off into your clothes and now you have them if they're stuck to you. So.
And you come home, you bring them home, and then you literally have. You take your clothes off, and now they're in your carpet, they're in your furniture, your chairs.
Yep, regular laundry won't kill them. I mean, it may, but chances are they'll survive a long time. Or laundry, washer dryer.
So washer dryer, detergents typically will not kill them.
Certain soaps, there are special soaps you can buy for that, but as far as I know, that regular laundry just we'll only slow them down.
So as far as, so when somebody says, hey, they call you up and say, hey, I think I brought bed bugs home with me into the house.
Yeah.
What they call you, you go to the house. Tell me what you do.
What do I do? First thing I try to do is try to enlighten them on what needs to be done, what's going to be done, and how I'm going to assess that situation for future treatment. And what I'll do is prepare them and prep them, much like they're going to have to prep themselves to get their clothes ready, get their furniture ready, get ready for that. Because my success is going to be dependent upon how well they prep. And by that I mean they're going to have to launder their clothes, they're going to have to clean out their dressers, they're going to have to move some stuff, tote some stuff or whatever, get it out of the room, get them out of the house, and sanctify that area so that when they get a clean area, they don't want to bring infected clothes into a clean area. Same way with, you don't want to have clean clothes brought into an infected area or infected clothes brought into a clean area. So it's a cycle of prepping that actually helps and enhances my success ratio.
So it's very important. I've heard you talk before. It's very important that the minute you think you might have bed bugs, that they need to be calling a professional exterminator immediately before they travel throughout the home.
There are ways that they can treat themselves and do good for themselves, either through laundry, mattress covers, their own self-treatment as far as over-the-counter stuff, which works. There's nothing wrong with the over-the-counter stuff. Obviously residential stuff's probably not quite as strong as commercial grade. But that's an argument. That's just an arguable point. But I've seen over-the-counter stuff work.
But you can kind of head them off from traveling, becoming a complete house infestation. You can head that off. If they're like in one room only, then you're saying...
If they catch it early, you can avoid a whole lot of issues if they wait and try to fight it themselves, or if they just don't treat right, or if they don't prep right, that they eventually will have a whole house infestation.
Okay, and then once that happens, it gets much more
It's
intense.
very expensive, it gets intense. A lot of people just throw all the furniture away. I mean, you don't have to do all that, but sometimes people get so frustrated that they're just tired of fighting it. They want to gut everything and start fresh.
Now, it used to be several years ago, I mean, maybe a decade or so ago, it used to be heat treatment. If we found bed bugs in a house, we literally had to heat that, seal off that house, the owner move out of that house, and then had to heat that house to 150 degrees or something crazy to try to kill those bed bugs and eggs.
They dry them up, and what they'll do is, and I've been involved in several heat treatments. I don't do heat myself. Between the equipment and the insurance and liability, I'm just not that big a company to where I wanted to venture into that avenue. So,
does anybody do heat treatment anymore?
Oh my gosh, yes.
They still do. I thought maybe that was old technology.
No, they've got new technology now where you can buy or purchase or rent or lease small heaters. And if you can seal up a room and seal off one room and heat it up, you can knock them out. But normally, customary, from what I've heard, it's about 4 hours at 140 degrees. But
4 hours at 140 degrees.
I've heard both. I've heard 4 to 6, up to 140 to 60 hours. But you get into areas there where stuff starts melting. Blinds. I mean, gosh, if
you're getting the house that hot.
Yeah, if you're getting the house that hot, you're getting into some areas there where liability is an issue now, because you may start melting some wires, or you may start melting some outlet covers or something like that. Stuff I've seen. Curtains and drapes that were drooping. I've seen outlet covers that droop, and that's because the heat treatment was there too long, or they didn't take them off, or they didn't prep the place properly. Or I've even heard of one person that forgot they had I don't know if it was a pop can or an aerosol can, and by the time it heated up, it exploded. Now you've got some real issues. So heat carries a certain amount of risk with it, but it's good. I had one company call me and ask me to do a spray as soon as they were done treating. As soon as they got the house to where we could walk through it and they got it treated, they wanted me to come in and oomph it up, give it a bump up with a good spray. Do a nice perimeter spray or whatever.
Because it used to be they didn't have very many products to deal with bed bugs. Once you got bed bugs, you about had to heat treat.
Yep.
But now there are products out there that are being very successful with bed bugs.
Yep, very, very
successful. You want to speak to that?
Well, I mean, I'm strictly a topical spray. There are several things you can use. As far as heat, I'm trying to think of some of the other types of treatments that they have. They have traps and stuff like that, or sticky traps and stuff that you can put underneath the bed that'll draw them in. They also have, they're called little machines that'll actually breathe the CO2 or fool the bed bug into thinking that there's CO2 in the room now, so they can come out and eat, you know. And they have different treatments like that to where it brings them to it. I actually heard of one company that uses, dry ice?
Yeah, you were talking about dry ice.
And when it evaporates the CO2, and it'll wake up like a vacant home that might have bed bugs, and maybe they've been vacant for 6 months or a year or something like that, where the bed bugs are in there dormant. So if you want to find out if they're in there, and they put that dry ice in the middle of the room in a bucket or something, and let that thing go for 24 hours or whatever.
Dry ice will wake them up.
Well, it's because the CO2 is
because
CO2.
They think a human being is in the house and they're coming alive.
There's other items that they can use. I've never used them. I've heard of them, but I don't know them enough to sit here and talk about it.
So where does bed bugs hide in a house? Typically, I mean, you just in the
crooks and crevices and cracks and crevices. Normally, they're within 5 to 10 feet of the food source, which you and me and them
we're food. We are the food source.
We are
not food setting out on the counter.
Nope.
The human food.
99% of the time, they're within 5 to 10 feet, 5 to 8 feet of the bed or the recliner, where you spend 99% of the life.
Okay.
And that's where they harbor up.
So they'll be in your
back
recliner,
there.
your chair. They're in the crevices. They're getting the carpets.
Yep.
And they'll be even in the woodwork.
Every nook and cranny. That's why they're so expensive. Is because I have to try and come in and topically spray every nook and cranny in their house, and especially in the rooms that we've got where the most infestation is.
Can families stay in their home during this spray process, or do you ask them to leave?
Well, I think it'd be recommended that they step out. At least let it dry and set up.
Let
the
dry.
point being is they
not overnight. Go get a hotel room.
No. Then stay out for, I don't know, half hour, whatever they're comfortable with, and then let it set up and dry. And once it dries, the nice thing about new stuff, and I don't know about the old stuff, the new stuff is good dry or wet. So if a bed bug crawls through it, when it's wet, it's obviously going to get them. But when it's dry, it'll still get on them. And when they harbor up and they get with each other, they try to clean each other.
They take it back to the nest?
They take it back to wherever they're harboring.
Okay.
So much
not a nest?
Just a group of them.
Okay.
And it'll be, they'll try to clean each other or clean themselves, and that's when it gets them. It doesn't work as fast as the wet treatment, but it does work.
So what's the difference between the eggs versus the actual live bug insect itself?
Well, the eggs are, I was going to bring
as far as treatment goes and being able to kill, because you can kill bed bugs, but you still have eggs that will hatch later.
Yeah, most of the spray, and from what I understand, the eggs are probably gestation is 18 to 24 days or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know, 3 weeks, give or take a few days. But so if I miss a crack somewhere, there might be eggs in that crack. And if I don't get that crack, them eggs are going to hatch and them eggs are going to live.
Okay.
So we're hoping that with my spray, they're going to walk through my spray eventually. At least that's what I'm hoping. If I've set down a sticky trap, or if I've set a bait thing down to where they may crawl through it or through it, hopefully the babies will find it, which they will. They'll find it eventually. That's what they're born to do. You know what I mean? So, but the eggs, my spray, if I happen to hit the eggs in any way, shape, or form, it's going to kill it. It'll kill the bug as well as the eggs in any stage of the bug.
So how does a person know, or they think, hey, this might be a bed bug? How do you know? And even speak to, I've heard you say children can be a real telltale sign about you'll see insect bites on kids. Talk about that.
Normally what I see is when people start talking about bugs, I say, well, let me see your wrists, let me see your ankles.
Adults or children?
Neck, both. I've noticed it seems that they go right for the limbs first, in the neck, around the neck. And if you start seeing bumps or beds, they look like little mosquito bites is what they look like. I've seen other people with welts. I guess it depends on the amount of sensitivity you have. But I've seen people with welts, but 9 times out of 10, it looks like a little bitty mosquito bite, a little flea bite. It's just a little tiny red bite. But normally I've seen bites all up and down people's legs. But normally when they start out, it's usually the very edges. around the wrists or the ankles or around the neck. Ooh, you've got bedbugs.
Okay.
You can pretty much tell that. And a lot of times the kids will get them in schools.
Okay.
That they're so important. You know how kids will walk in, they throw all the book bags in one pile.
So if you're a parent listening to this, your kid brings home, you said book bags, their coat has been...
They want to wear Johnny's hat, or hey, can I wear Linda's coat, or whatever. You know how kids are. Women love
absolutely.
Girls love to wear each other's clothes.
Yes.
Men not so much, but women
And so you can,
you
a kid at school can just walk
Yeah.
in the house and say,
Yep.
I was
Yep.
sharing clothing or
and they could have
book bag, and bang, they brought them in the house.
And all of a sudden they got them. They may not know it for 3 or 4 months, or they may not, observe anything as far as a cluster of bugs. But once they get established and they get set up and they harbor up and they start breeding, it only takes 1 egg, and then they're off and running. So, but
It only takes 1 egg.
yeah.
So they don't need 2 to
Well,
make.
you know what? That I can't quantify either, but I'm almost positive. As soon as they start dropping eggs, you got it.
You got bed bugs.
Yeah.
You don't need necessarily maybe males or females.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. I know on my picture here it's got a male and a female difference, but
Yes.
I have not read where that takes 2 to tango in that regard. So I would imagine it probably does. But
We've got a card here. Tell me, I'm going to show this card to our audience today, front and back here, information on bed bugs, their life cycle. And so is that card available if anybody, is it online or is it something
I believe you
from
can get this from the Ohio State University Extension Office.
Extension Office at Ohio State.
And it's got a list of to-dos and to-don'ts and stuff like that. Just good advice, and then it's got some other pictures of other insects. But it's just good information and shows you what you're looking at as far as droppings and the lifestyle and the different stages of bed bugs as far as their, what stage of the life. They've got 5 or 6 different stages in their life that they go through.
You and I are familiar with a house where they were sprinkling some sort of a powder on the carpet there to try to control bed bugs.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Diatomaceous earth. That is a fossil shell. That's actually mine from what I hear out west. I have it myself. I have some of myself, some of my own, and have gotten it on several times. But it's good bed bug. It's good insecticide. It's slow acting. But what it is when the shells, because they've been feeding it to farm animals, you may feed it to your cows, or you may have done feed it to your cow. And what it does is it cleans the parasites out of the inside of the animals or the farm animals. What it does, how it does that, from what I understand, is it grind it up. When you grind it up, it makes little bitty razors out of these fossils. And the fossils actually scrape the inside of the animal to clear it of its parasites. Well, on a bug, their skeleton is on the outside of its body. So when the fossil shell flower gets underneath that skeleton, it cuts it on one hand. On the other hand, when they try to clean themselves, they can't digest it. So the razors actually cut them from the inside out.
And so that's actually an over-the-counter product,
Yes, it
a
is.
powder that you
Very
put on
good.
carpets.
Yep, very good.
If you
can
get
buy about
pets or
50 pounds or whatever for about 30 or 40 bucks. So it's actually very inexpensive.
Okay.
But
So-
it's a good product. It's just not a very fast acting product.
What else on bed bugs here do we kind of need to talk about? Because it seems to be such a fear of bed bugs. It's such a stigma.
There's a stigma, and people think, "Oh my gosh, I'm filthy." Well, you're not filthy. I know $1 million homes that are infested.
$1 million homes with bed
my
bugs.
gosh, it doesn't have any. It don't care if you got a dollar or not.
It is bed bugs do not discriminate.
No, they do not. But the best thing I can tell you from my standpoint and from what I've experienced is I am successful and more successful. Obviously, you would be more successful as a client if you were properly prepped. And by prepping, that means you have to launder your clothes, you have to get mattress covers, you clean out all your dressers.
Explain mattress covers, because so you're saying if I think I now have bed bugs, I'm going to put a mattress cover on to keep I'm sleeping on that mattress cover.
Yes, sir.
So
What
the
happens
thinking is
when they get into those mattresses? I cannot dip the mattress, so to speak.
Okay.
So you get a mattress cover, and what that does, it's guaranteed bed bug or insect proof. What that means is the bed bug cannot either get out, and the bed bug cannot get in.
They're kind of zipped in. They're
They're
locked
kind
in.
of zipped in. So after so many months or so much time, they'll go dormant, and then they'll just die out. They'll just curl up and die.
Are these mattress covers kind of like pre-treated or something like that?
Nope, they're just woven so tight, and don't get the plastic ones. That's the only ones. That's the only right now. You can go get the plastic ones, but I wouldn't recommend it. With the activity on the bed and you're constantly up and down or whatever, the plastic ones eventually crack. And if that's the case, the bed bug now has a highway to get in and out. And you may not know that for a while. So you've done defeated the certain purpose of it. But the nylon woven mattress covers with the zipper, and they're nice tight nylon, and they're guaranteed bed bug proof, and they won't rip or tear or anything like that. But if you happen to tear one, make sure you replace it or repair it, because the bed bugs will find that hole eventually.
Okay, I had a person recently tell me that we were talking and said, Jeff, I jumped in a friend's automobile, got in their car, and I actually thought I picked up some bed bugs in a friend's automobile. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. Bed bugs are going to crawl off you and onto a chair and find a crack somewhere, and they're just going to harbor up in there until the next person sits in it. Unless that vehicle actually heats up, which it could. I mean, it's a hot sun on a hot summer day. You could easily achieve 140 degrees for hours and hours, and I'm quite certain you bake them. You roast them up or dry them up or whatever. So I have told people before, and use their car to put all their clothes into a black trash bag and stick it in the car.
Just put it in the car, just set it out in the sun, and just let that car get hot.
Baby, have at it.
Huh.
Mother
Okay.
Nature will
Excellent
bake 'em.
idea.
So I wouldn't say that's a quantified. That's a super. I'm quite sure
That's a cheap way to try to kill bed bugs.
it's not in the book anywhere, but I've used it before and I've seen it work. So did it work all the time? I don't know. Nobody's called me back and said, Greg, that one didn't work.
Excellent. What else does the public need to know? A homeowner need to know about bed bugs in particular?
Is prepping in general. I mean, if you can prep, the better you can prep, the better I'm going to be. And you're going to think I'm precious, but if I'm successful, it's because you prepped properly. I have had some people who don't prep, and I've told them,
that causes you to have to come back multiple times.
Hey, I've had one guy. I've been to him 8 or 9 times.
Okay. And why? Why is that?
I said, for one, he doesn't want to pay the full price for a full house spray.
Okay, so he just
he wants me to treat different rooms.
Okay.
And I told him, and we'll call him Joe or whatever.
Yeah.
I said, Joe, you got to know that we're just beating a dead horse here. We're going to win, but we're beating a dead horse, and you're probably going to call me back, every so often. On the other hand, if he goes, because he's done this too, he's gone 3 or 4 months without seeing one. And I said, Joe, you don't go 3 or 4 months without seeing one, from what I understand. If you're in the room and you're breathing, they're going to wake up and come find you. Bugs. I said, you go 3 or 4 months without seeing anything, your dog's not itching. His dog had sores all over him where he was itching and bit by the bugs.
Oh, wow.
The whole 9 yards. And I said, you're going 3 or 4 months and not seeing a thing? Somebody's brought him in. Or you've brought him in. Or you've rubbed up against something or somebody somewhere got him again. And he went, oh, that's my experience. So that's, to me, the better you're prepped, the more successful I'm going to be. And the more economical I'm going to be. Because if I have to come back 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, which I have done that, then it's going to be, now my later sprays are not usually as expensive as my original spray. But for me to get in there my first time, I always suggest you do a whole house spray.
Whole house spray is what you recommend. Just don't go after the holes. Just deal with it one time.
If they're prepped properly. If they're not prepped properly, I think we're beating a dead horse. It's just a vicious cycle.
Okay.
I had one customer that shoved all her stuff in a closet.
See
okay. That ain't gonna work.
Let's see, the house we sold where you got called in on, the owner actually believed that a family member who found out they had bed bugs had transported them in, brought them into their home, and got them started. And you're saying that's very realistic. A guest in your house could bring them in.
Yeah, there's people got them, don't even know they got them. I mean, it just is what it is.
Why would you not know you have them?
Well,
I mean, if you're
that's the way I know. If you have not seen them, or if you've seen one and not paid any attention, just killed it and got rid of it, and you're not being bit, You know, some people get bit by mosquitoes and you'll stand right next to them and they won't touch you.
Yeah, some people, that's true.
Some people can lay and roll around in poison ivy and not get poison ivy.
Same way with the bed bug?
Same way with bed bugs.
Really?
I've got people who got bit, they look like a walking rash. They look terrible.
Okay.
And his wife's right there, she goes, well, I don't get bit.
Really? And maybe sleeping together in the same
yeah,
bed?
you know,
He's
in the
getting
same
bit
house.
and she's not. Wow.
So it just is what it is. We all have our own
Body chemistry?
Yeah, you know,
whatever.
we all have our own quirks, so it is what it is. So,
Okay.
people are people. So,
Okay.
but yeah. So if I could offer any advice, it'd be get yourself prepped. And I usually give a customer about 8 to 10 days. I said, I'll give you almost 2 weeks to be fully prepped.
Okay.
And I said, if you get prepped any sooner or if it needs to be later, just call me and let me know. But we'll plan on you in about 2 weeks and do exactly what I tell you. Most people are conducive to it, some just don't care, but it is what it is.
Okay, excellent. Well, everyone listening to this video, this is Jeff Dickey. Greg Turner is my guest today, and Greg is a professional exterminator, and been a great conversation, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining
Thanks
me.
for calling on me. I appreciate it.